Smooth 98.1, Lagos, Nigeria World. Here we are. Apologies for the late start. It is the Tech Friday edition of a Business Express right here on a Smooth Brekfast. I'm Sope Martins, and joining me for the Tech Friday Business Express, I have got two tech analysts in with me, Fisayo, Durojaye. Good morning, Fisayo.
Good morning, Sope. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everyone listening.
And we've got Victor Ekwealor Jr., also a tech analyst, and joining us for my first time meeting you, Victor. Great to have you on the show. Morning. How are you?
Good morning, Sope. Thank you for having me. I'm great.
All right. So today, let's talk what is going on with... Okay, we're going to be talking cryptocurrencies today, and if we can, we're also going to be talking about the Meta laying off of staff. So first of all, the FTX crash and what it means for cryptocurrencies. Let's get into that real quick. So for those who are not aware, can we get a quick, short summary of what FTX is, Fisayo? Let's start off with you.
So FTX is a global exchange for cryptocurrency, meaning that if you want to buy or sell your cryptocurrency or keep, right, you keep them with exchanges, or you like it's stock exchange, right? So you think about it that way. But this is a crypto exchange where cryptocurrencies are traded essentially for cash or for other cryptocurrencies. Right. So similar, you can buy Bitcoin, with fiat, with money, or you can buy Bitcoin with, say, another cryptocurrency, say Ethereum, right? And use that to exchange for another crypto. So that's exactly what it is. So it's an exchange for cryptocurrency. So that's what FTX does, right? But I guess the problem is that they had some liquidity challenge. Again, I'm putting it mildly by saying they had some liquidity challenge. Essentially, what they did was that they took customers' money and played, there's something in Yoruba they call kalo kalo. I mean, but
fun. Great for the customers.
Yes. So they took customers' money that are saved within, their ecosystem, leveraged this, borrowed against it, right? And then somehow they lost their bet on borrowing. So they lost all the money essentially, right? They lost all the money. They can't return customers' money back to them. And of course, it means that they had to a large extent shut down. So that's where the problem really is. Okay,
now, Victor, bringing you in on this. So they've shut down, people's money is gone. But more importantly, what does this mean for cryptocurrency, for crypto itself? What does it mean for crypto exchanges? Like, what does it mean for the trust of the people?
It's bad. I mean, it's generally bad. Every time something like this happens, it kind of tanks the faith in cryptocurrencies and exchanges like FTX. To answer your initial question, you can think of FTX like a bank for crypto. And imagine what happens if banks start shutting down back to back. People lose faith in banks.
Banks.
Yeah, people stop putting money in banks. And it's not accurate to think about FTX like a bank because crypto does not have the same faith that banks have. People are largely skeptical about cryptocurrencies and just derivative digital currencies. So this even makes the skepticism worse. It makes people less likely to put their money in crypto. So yes, definitely ratings go down to a very large extent, and trust, user trust with things like this is very important. And every time something like this happens, a lot of the major cryptocurrencies lose value to a very large extent, billions of dollars are wiped out of the market in market valuation.
So all those crypto millionaires.
Everything, a lot of people lost their life savings in this particular FTX issue, and the market capitalization, all the money, capitalization in the markets has been lost. This is billions of dollars, right? So it's not good. It's not good for anybody when this thing happens. And there's like I said, people lost money. There's the actual money that people put into FTX that they may never recover, more likely than not, those monies won't come back. So it's not good. It's not generally good for the ecosystem.
Okay, was there no regulator? What's going on with
It's
Crypto
decentralized.
is largely unregulated.
So
Like
that's
crypto
the
is
thing,
largely
right?
unregulated.
So
Yeah.
everybody keeps going on about decentralization. We don't want the man. But then when something like this happens, then everybody starts calling for regulators and the man that they're trying to run away from. Doesn't the man have a place in this conversation now? Fisayo, you can laugh all you want, but still, it's a question.
No. I mean, I'm not laughing at the question because, again, I've always had a consistent view on cryptocurrencies. I've always had, so it's not today, right? Again, I'll take a step back. The thing about decentralization, right? Technically, it should make sense. But when I started doubting how these things work was during, the sanctions on Russia, over the invasion in quotes of Ukraine, right? And you see cryptocurrency exchanges, freezing people's accounts, wallets, seizing Russians' money. Like, this doesn't make sense because if it is truly decentralized, it means that the exchanges shouldn't have access essentially to the to my money that I put within the ecosystem, or to my cryptocurrency within the ecosystem. So it means that there is some access or inordinate access that these exchanges and of course players within the ecosystem have. And that's exactly where the problem really is. So you don't want a regulatory oversight. So it's like the bank, GT Bank, any bank, right, not having a CBN looking at them, right? And that is where the problem is. So you have different of these banks that can do anything with your deposits, with your depositors' funds. They can do anything with, and then there's no external party looking at them. And then they are claiming that it's decentralized because there's no CBN, it is decentralized, not knowing that because they are the ones, in custody of the money, they are the ones then doing the unethical things with the money because there's no third party looking at what they're doing or regulating them. And that's where the real problem really lies. And of course,
guys, I don't like being anywhere without boundaries. I like boundaries because boundaries are where people get to stop. But real quick, this is kind of reminding me of what's happening with Twitter. For a long time, people were like, oh yeah, Twitter's over moderated. They're stopping us from getting verification tags. And now that Elon Musk has said, okay, let's open it up. $8, you get your blue tick, your blue check mark. And now we've started seeing all the impersonations that have been going on. Yeah, let's talk about that. So lots of notable impersonations of celebrities and companies. I remember one about George W. Bush saying that he wants to go and kill more Iraqis. So that's $8 monthly fee for verification. Did it forget about security? Was there perhaps in that conversation, somebody maybe raised their hand and said, what about security? And everybody else was like, nah, $8, money. I mean, what do we make of all of this?
To a very large extent, right? It all seems like it's from a user perspective, it doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, like you said, it looks like a crash course in how not to build products, for a user. But from a business perspective, what we're seeing is products being built too fast than thoughts is being put into it, right? Like you mentioned, there apparently hasn't been a lot of thoughts. Like we can see Elon Musk's thought process iterating in real time. And he's like, oh, we'll make the verifications tiered. People that paid for it to get some sort of check mark. People that didn't pay for it will get other form of check mark. But that's like a terrible idea because you are basically trying to
just said that.
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
a terrible
idea.
You're trying to change user behavior in real time. We're used to blue check marks being the ID for authentication. Like when you see a blue check mark beside a handle, it means that this is the person. And that cannot change in weeks. You can't take that off in weeks. And that's what we're seeing in real time. I believe that with time, proper verification is going to go into it and the product is going to get refined. We are basically seeing a product being built in real time. That's the objective way to think about it, But from a user perspective, it's nonsense. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, from an advertiser perspective, because Twitter has lost some of their advertising money, right? From an advertiser perspective, is that what you want to see? Is that what's going to attract your money, seeing it in real time?
I mean, So Twitter has always had a hard time with like advertising revenue, like getting money from advertisers and all that. It's always been a problem, and it's even going to get worse now, right? Because you're seeing all these unchecked interactions, unchecked accounts, people abusing these things, like the George W. Bush scenario we saw. Like how many people are going to tell like, oh, this is not actually George Bush? And those kind of things make the platform a lot more unstable than it already seems to advertisers. And actually, it's beginning to affect them already, actually, according to numbers. So it's not a good look for them from the advertising revenue perspective. And it's almost counterintuitive when you think that, Musk says he's doing all of this to get more advertising dollars. And what he's doing, in essence, is losing them more of that money. It's very interesting.
Because now you've got drug companies tweeting, obviously fake accounts tweeting that insulin is now free.
I saw it. It's all chaos, like terrible chaos.
Yeah, ain't that great? All right, and we've come to the end of the show. So real quick, because this is techie, let's get into the conversation up on social media. So once the show goes off air, go ahead and tweet at the tech analyst. Fisayo, you are at Aramore Fisayo, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
On Twitter.
Yes, on Twitter. Do you have your blue check mark?
Well, they've not rolled it out yet. But of course, when they do, I'm going to price it like Shake $5.
Last price, $4. Victor, what about you?
I don't think I'm going to pay for it. I don't. It's not necessary. I'm not going to pay for it.
Okay. And where can we find you up on social media?
I'm Victor_Ekwealor on most platforms, all platforms actually.
All platforms at Victor_Ekwealor. All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me for Tech Friday Business Express. Looking forward to more of these conversations because lots is happening in the tech world. All right. Have a fantastic day. Bye.
You too.